Sony's love for big screens goes all the way back to 2013 and the 6.4 Xperia Z Ultra, which was followed by a phablet in every generation since. Some 4 years later we have the Xperia XA1 Ultra at our doorstep, all 6 inches of it. And since we headed down memory lane, the Xperia T2 Ultra certainly deserves a mention too. While the Z Ultra packed some flagship-grade internals, the T2 Ultra was less obsessed with specs and screen size for that matter, its display diagonal coming in at 6 inches sharp. You can tweak the color reproduction with the RGB sliders in the white balance section of the display settings. You'd need a colorimeter and dedicated software to calibrate it, though. Our trial and error attempts led to an average delta of 2.6 with RGB values of 197, 83, 0. That, however, results in a massive dip in maximum brightness. With these white balance settings, the phone only pumped out 380 nits. The blue and green pixels are brighter than the red ones, and taking away some of the bluish cast lowers the screen's maximum brightness. That's not a glitch as it can be observed with any LCD out there, but the dip on the XA1 Ultra after the calibration is more serious than usual. The Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra comes in single and dual SIM flavors. Ours is the single SIM version, so we can't comment on how the dual SIM variety handles the 2 cards. Cat.6 LTE is supported by the Helio P20's modem for download speeds of up to 300 megabits per second. Wi-Fi BGN over 2.4 GHz and AN over 5 GHz is supported, but not AC. You can stream video wirelessly over Miracast, but the XA1 Ultra isn't DLNA certified. The supported Bluetooth is now V4.2 LE, as opposed to the Z Ultra's 4.1. Bluetooth comes with the audio-focused aptX protocol as well. NFC is available too, and so is an FM radio receiver. For positioning, you get GPS and GLONASS, but no BDS or Galileo. Peripherals can be connected via the USB-C port, but USB 2.0 limits transfer speeds to 480 megabits per second. There's a good old 3.5mm jack for attaching headphones too. Just like the small XA1, the Xperia XA1 Ultra relies on the same capacity battery as the model it replaces, that's 2700 mAh. Our skepticism was proven unfounded on the XA1, which posted quite respectable endurance results out of its tiny 2300 mAh cell, so we dived into our testing without worrying all that much. And that turned out to have been the right attitude, as the Xperia XA1 Ultra's endurance is anything but disappointing. Let's start with what matters most. The tests we carry out with the display on are particularly demanding on the 6-inch Ultra, and 10 hours of video playback is admirable, even if the competition might be capable of more. Almost 12 hours of browsing the web over Wi-Fi is even more praiseworthy. That's hardly a word to describe the phone's longevity in voice calls, where it couldn't make it to the 13-hour mark. Apparently, MediaTek's modem isn't as efficient in this use case as the competing solutions. But we still think talk time comes a distant second after all the other screen-on activities that you are bound to carry out on your big-screen smartphone. The Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra we have for review is the single SIM version, G3221. Dual SIM versions are also available in some markets. Even if the 2 slits, top and bottom, on the Xperia XA1 Ultra hint at a stereo speaker setup, the phone actually packs just a single bottom-firing driver. It is, however, plenty loud, unlike the XA1, but it still falls slightly behind the Z Ultra from last year. Even so, the flagship XZ Premium with its pair of speakers has nothing on the Ultra in terms of sheer loudness. For text entry, Sony has been sticking with the SwiftKey keyboard for a while now. It's touted as having one of the best prediction algorithms and offers pretty much everything: multiple layouts and themes, 5 different sizes, undocking, secondary symbols upon long press, swipe input, and images. The News app is a news aggregator, pulling stories from sources on topics of your choice. It can also issue 2 daily bulletins for you at a time you specify, so you don't miss out on current events.